Are you feeling an urge to clean your house, declutter your inbox, tidy up your thoughts and maybe your entire life? Well, Mars is entering Virgo and is giving productivity error. In today's video, we are diving what Mars in Virgo actually means, how to get the most out of this energy without burning out, and what it's trying to teach you about motivation and self-respect. If you have Mars in Virgo in your natal chart, then this is particularly relevant to you. So make sure that you stay to the end, where we are going to discuss how to make the most out of this energy if you have it in your natal chart. Mars is the planet of action, of our drive, of our energy, of our ego, of motivation, or if left unchecked, that motivation that then turns into potential aggression. It takes Mars around 2 years to make a full round around the zodiac. Virgo energy, on the other hand, is all about refinement, about systems, about practicality, service to others. With Virgo energy, everything that we do has to have a practical purpose. So with Mars in Virgo, we are looking at deliberate action, action that creates, improves, or refines systems, and turning chaos into order. Mars in Virgo doesn't just do for the sake of doing. This isn't hustle culture, it's mastery culture. So where do we start to make this the most productive time of this year? Well, first of all, we want to look at systems. Mars gives us energy, it gives us motivation and drive. And in Virgo, it needs to be channeled into something productive, into something solid. So this is a great time for you to declutter your inbox, tidy up your calendar, tidy up a physical space, create a better Notion template. It's a very, very beneficial time to do those kind of tasks that require a bit more initial energy output, but will make things a lot easier down the line. It's where you set up systems and automations. You create frameworks that you are able to then use later on that are so solid that you don't have to think about how you're doing things and why you're doing things. That's what we're going to do while Mars is in Virgo. So these can be things like learning to use a software that makes your life easier, learning shortcuts, learning formulas, tidying up any kind of visual and mental clutter that is dragging you down. Speaking of mental clutter, this is also a great time to declutter your mind. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Although there is some debate about that among astrologers, classically Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which means that it is quite a cerebral sign. It thinks in terms of putting things into boxes, classifying, systematizing. And so this is a great time to do the same thing with your mental clutter through journaling, through stream of consciousness writing, or channeled writing as it is known in some places, through therapy. But the important thing here is that Mars is a very physical planet. It needs things to be made tangible. It needs things to be physical and have physical form. So when you do this, you want to be writing, you want to maybe be recording so that there is a physical imprint of what was once just floating around in your head. And that is exactly what is going to get you clarity and get you out of any unhelpful or perhaps even destructive thought loops. This is a time where routines will get you a lot further than motivation. Mars in any earth sign, whether it's Virgo, whether it's Taurus, whether it's Capricorn, requires slow but consistent action, day after day after day. So you will get a lot more done just focusing on a goal for 10 minutes, but do it every single day, rather than once in a month sit down for a 2-hour power focus session. So consider what's actually sustainable for you to do every single day. What can you actually fit into your life every single day, especially around the themes of health, finance, and spiritual hygiene. And don't be afraid to cut things out of your life that don't serve you, things that aren't sustainable, things that don't light you up. Maybe you are spending an hour at the gym every day because you think that's what you should be doing and that's what everybody is telling you that you should be doing. But actually, you'd be much better served doing a longer walk every day, or cutting down your exercise routine and just doing short, intense bursts. Do what works for you. This is a phenomenal time to try a new routine because Mars in Virgo gives us that consistency that allows us to actually see whether these routines work for us or not, because you do have to give them a chance and do them consistently for a longer period of time before you are really able to make that judgment call. And Mars in Virgo does put the focus on our physical selves and on our bodies and on our health. This is a time where precise movement is favored over anything explosive. So think things like physiotherapy, like Pilates, yoga, or dance, for example. It's not really a time to be punishing yourself and be pushing yourself to the limit the whole time. It's about finding what works for your body, really listening to your body's signals and treating it with respect and dignity. Now, there are also a few things that we do need to be careful with during this transit. The main one being overthinking and overworking, which leads to burnout. Mars can push Virgo's perfectionist tendencies a bit too far. So don't just do things for the sake of doing them because you have put them on your plan and because you have put them on your to-do list, without listening to your own body's signals, without listening to your own mental signals. Pay attention to what your body is telling you so that you don't wear yourself thin and burn yourself out. And we do need to be careful of a tendency to be a little bit nitpicky about our own efforts and also those of everybody else. Another thing to look out for are toxic productivity loops. We can get trapped in the idea that we need to optimize every single area of our lives. And very, very many of us have been down these kind of toxic cycles of trying to optimize everything and forgetting to actually live our lives. You're not a machine, so don't forget to put in time to actually enjoy the fruits of your efforts and enjoy your life while you're living it. And for some of us, this has to be penciled into our calendar. That's just how it is. If that's how you have to do it, if that's the only way that you can have some relaxation time and time to yourself by penciling it into your calendar, then do that. That's absolutely fine. And finally, do watch out for self-sabotage. So many of us do self-sabotage through perfectionism. And instead of celebrating that we're making progress, which is never linear, by the way, we start picking ourselves apart and try to improve everything on the fly. And we just keep turning ourselves around in circles without actually getting anywhere if we do that. So make sure that you set an intention for your actions and don't lose sight of that intention. So here's a could-do list for you to make the most out of Mars in Virgo. Declutter something. Declutter your wardrobe, declutter your inbox, declutter your room. Start small. You might feel inspired to declutter your entire home once you get started, but don't make it a huge, overwhelming task. Start with something small and just see where the energy takes you. Make a progress tracker. Or if you already have a progress tracker, then see if you can refine it. Obviously, when we are goal setting, it is the final goal that we want to keep in mind. But the journey to get to the goal is going to take up a lot more time than, reaching the summit is going to. So arguably, it is probably a lot more important. And having a progress tracker, seeing that you can be consistent and that you can show up for yourself day after day after day after day, that's going to build so much motivation and so much self-respect for you as well, that when Mars moves on to other signs, when the energy changes and perhaps motivation won't be quite as high, you will still have that momentum going for you, and it will be a lot easier to keep it going rather than starting from scratch again. And in a similar vein, you want to really break down any large looming tasks that you have into smaller, more achievable chunks. And I promise you that satisfaction of ticking off something on your list of things to do while Mars is in Virgo is extra delicious. Use this time to prep some nourishing meals, even if it's just cutting up some cucumbers and carrots and peppers to keep in your fridge during the week for easy snacking. Especially now it's summer for the Northern Hemisphere, fresh produce is amazing. So prep it, use it, make the most of it. And maybe you feel called to try a mindful movement practice. Book yourself into that new yoga class or try out that new Pilates studio. Or if you've never done one, maybe try a walking meditation out in the sunshine. Now, if you have Mars in Virgo in your natal chart, this is your Mars return. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, it takes about 2 years for Mars to complete a full cycle of the zodiac. So we do have one of these roughly every 2 years. For you, this is a reboot of your drive, your routines, your motivation, and your daily habits, and your health especially. If you have Mars in Virgo in your natal chart, anything you do has to have a practical purpose. It has to be of service to others or to a better version of yourself. You tend to be quite ambitious and strong-willed, and Mars in Virgo natives also do tend to have a very good skill at not letting their emotions cloud your judgments, which makes you very well suited for careers in things like investigation, in psychology or psychiatry, in law enforcement or law, or in social work. Although the interesting thing is that usually Mars in Virgo natives do tend to be quite passionate. It's just that this passion is kept behind closed doors. You have to earn your trust before you let other people see that side of you. For you, it's very important to let good enough be good enough. You can have a tendency to get stuck in perfectionism, to spin your own wheels and stop moving forward. So don't let perfect be the enemy of done, essentially. For you, it's very, very helpful to take regular breaks. These can be weekly, monthly, quarterly, or all of the above, to just take a step back and look at the bigger picture. This, depending on your other placements, of course, but this usually is not something that comes naturally to you. So you do have to do this intentionally and take these intentional breaks to look at the big picture and then reassess whether you're still on course towards what you set out originally to do, or if you might have gotten lost in the weeds in the meantime and need to readjust your course. But for everybody, this transit is about refining your approach. Work smarter, not harder. Focus on progress, on flow, on what actually feels good to be doing and to complete. How are you entering your productivity era? What are some tasks that you can't wait to finally tackle? And if you would like some personal insights on how Mars shows up for you, what your unique opportunities and strengths are, then do check out the link in the description box where you can book a personal one-on-one consultation with me. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it so that you don't miss any future releases. And I'm sure to see you soon. Bye bye.